Hi there. So when I first started making this video, I was like, okay, I'm going to have 5 things that I can share with you that will ultimately change your life. And then I was like, no, you know what? There's one thing that I learned, I would say at the cusp of midlife. And I consider midlife like 45 and after. It could be a little earlier than that. Everybody has their own opinion, but let's just stick with the 45 and after, okay? So I learned this right at the beginning, and it hit me like a ton of bricks when I heard this. And I was like, huh, okay, okay, let me really think about that one. And it really, over the years, has become, I don't know, it's just ingrained in me now. And I think a lot of times in midlife, a lot of people get here on their own anyway, even without hearing this thing, not realizing what it is that's happening. But not everybody does. So I want to give you that knowledge, especially if you are maybe at the cusp of midlife as well, and or even into midlife. But it could be one thing that does shift a lot of your perspective. Before I get to that, let me just remind you who I am. I'm Megan. Welcome back to More in Midlife, whether you're watching on YouTube or on my podcast. Either way, thank you very much for watching or listening. I'm here for midlife women. So if you're one of those, you have found the right place. I hope you like it enough to subscribe and follow along this journey as I figure my own shit out. All right. So here's the one thing. And I should make this video short and sweet because it really is truly just about this one thing. And it is this. And you may have heard it before. I'm not sure who the originator is of this because I feel like it's one of those just ideas that eventually became cemented into more of a quote. But it's that other people's opinions are none of your business. And I heard this at a time when I was, working in a situation where it was very cliquey and, people were always talking about the people outside of the main clique. I was not in the main clique, nor did I want to be. I've always tended to stay away from that. So anyway, I heard that and I was like, at a point where I was kind of like really consumed. I wouldn't say all in consumed, but like I really it made me it took up a lot of my thinking and a lot of my energy when I was worried about what this group of people was thinking about me at work or what they were saying about me. And when I heard that, it was very freeing. It was like, oh, that's right. It's none of my business. Like they can say whatever they want and it just doesn't have to bother me. It's not what I think about myself. It's what they're thinking, or maybe I'm just thinking that they're thinking, right? We don't even, if it's just like your thoughts thinking about what someone could be saying about you, you don't know it's true. Even if someone else says they said something about you, um, it's more than likely a version of something they said and not actually what came out of their mouths. So, anyway, that aside, yeah, it's completely freeing when you really think about maybe you have a situation in your life where you're worried what someone else is going to think. And this isn't saying to not be a kind person or to not give any damn about life. This is like what that person is saying about you does not, should not affect your own world. Okay. I do believe that we create our own realities. So if you want to believe what someone else said about you, like, oh, she's she's mean. I don't even. I'm just making something up. Uh, that girl doesn't. She's not smart. She doesn't know what she's doing. Um, if you believe that, then that's going to be your reality. That you don't know what you're doing and you're not smart. But that's their opinion. And if you don't let it bother you and it's none of your business, that's not how you see yourself. You see yourself as smart and capable, that you do know what you're doing. So, this can come in handy in many situations. I've had family situations where this comes in, in it really matters because um, I had a family situation last year, it was around the holidays, and one person didn't show up to a family event. And I was like genuinely concerned, asked this person's spouse, "Oh, where are they? Is everything okay?" "Oh, yeah, I'll tell you later." Later never came. They never told me, and I asked again. Um, then another family member tells me later on, outside after the party, "Oh, they didn't come because of you and that one thing that you didn't want to do." And I was like, "What? Why would that make them not come to a party because I didn't want to participate in something else?" And they're like, "Oh, you're going to talk to him about it?" And I was like, "No, like that's on them. That has nothing to do with me. All that person did was hurt their own family, not me or mine. And they didn't get to experience what was a fun party where there would have been no issues." So that came in here because I was like, "No, that's their opinion, their belief or whatever. It has nothing to do with me." So, and they had nothing to do with my decision of the other situation. I'm trying to be vague here. I don't think these people watch my YouTube video, my YouTube channel, but just in case, you know, never want to use names. Anyway, so that is just an example. And it literally, it just didn't, it wasn't an issue to me. I'm like, oh, interesting. Moving on. So if you struggle with what other people are thinking about you, work on this, journal on it, think about how you could apply that, how it really is true, because it was definitely a statement I read that made me go, whoa, I've never been told that, or I've never thought of things like that way, that what people are saying or their opinions are none of my business. I think as we get older, we kind of tend to care less about what other people think about us. I think that just comes with age. But what I want for you is for you to get there sooner than later, because it truly does free up so much of your mental capacity, your energy. It just allows you to focus on what really is important and what matters. And you spend less time worrying about all of that bullshit, for real. So I hope all of that made sense. I would love for you to have that, like, just that freedom of not worrying about it. And like I said, it doesn't mean that we abandon all relationships with people, but we keep the relationships that matter. And it doesn't mean you don't work on relationships. It just means that when you hear or you think other people are saying things about you or feel a certain way towards you, that it's just none of your business. And you can literally move on like none of that exists. So I hope this message finds you if you needed to hear it. And that's all I've got for you today. That is truly one thing in midlife that I learned very early on in midlife, like I said, on the cusp of what you would call midlife, and has made all the difference in the world. And I think now that I am 51, that if I hadn't heard that back then, I don't know. Who knows how I would feel about situations now, about other people, or how much time I would spend talking to someone else about what someone else said or thinks about me. You know what I mean? Like, that just doesn't happen in my world. Um, yeah. So, all right. I will be back with more next week. And once again, I just hope if you needed to hear that, it found the ears that needed to hear it. All right.